What's good, my people? It's your boy Cornelius Jones. We're back again, and I need to just say right now, this video is not financial advice. Do your own research, make up your own mind, take responsibility for your own choices. All right, now that I've gotten that out the way, this is a very important video because there is a company that is tokenizing real estate on the XRP ledger that is going live at midnight tonight, and that is this company right here, RealFi. I'm just going to read their post, and then we're going to get into a deep grok search to find out who this company is. A lot of people think this company is going to do well. A lot of people don't. We're going to get into both sides. I'm going to tell you what I think, but this is a very important video to look at, and you can do your own research and make up your own mind. All right. So RealFi, XRP ledger to unlock 228 trillion in institutional real estate on August 18th at 11:59 p.m. That's today. The XRP ledger will officially unlock the ability for 228 trillion in institutional real estate to be brought on chain through the XRP ledger asset program. This milestone will enable an estimated 228 trillion in institutional real estate currently managed off chain to be tokenized and integrated into the XRP ledger via the Real token, signaling a transformative moment in the global real estate market's shift toward blockchain adoption. And then they have the link there for people who may want to get the token. First off, I just want to say, didn't we always know this was the direction that our world was headed? All value is going to be tokenized, and real estate is 100% going to be tokenized. This market is hundreds and hundreds of trillions of dollars. It's all going digital. Where's it going to go? The XRP ledger is going to get a large portion of this pie. I know that information going in. And so here is a specific company that is tokenizing that value on the XRP ledger. You see, when you tokenize real estate, instead of a deed, you get a token. And these tokens represent real ownership. It can even be fractional ownership. It can be a rental, right? This is a digital way to represent ownership and have value that you can actually trade with people, transferring that ownership. When you own this token, that is your deed, right? So that's the world we're headed to. So how legitimate is RealFi? And is RealFi going to get a significant portion of this tokenized real estate volume? All right, so that's the question we want to ask. And so I want to go here to a grok search that I did and want to give you guys a little breakdown of some things that I read. And I think this conversation is very important. So here it is. I'm not going to put it on the screen. I'm just going to read it. I said, give me a detailed breakdown of the company RealFi. They are tokenizing real estate on the XRP ledger. Introduction to RealFi. RealFi is a blockchain-based project designed to tokenize real estate assets on the XRP ledger, aiming to digitize, decentralize, and democratize real estate ownership and payments globally. It positions itself as a real estate payment solution, enabling users to conduct transactions from rentals to property purchases, using a unified currency system powered by blockchain technology. The platform targets the massive global real estate market, estimated at 650 to 654 trillion, by allowing fractional ownership, tokenization of properties, and seamless cross-border transactions. RealFi leverages XRPL's features like fast settlements, 3 to 5 seconds, low fees, and a built-in decentralized exchange to facilitate these operations. So the overall market is 650 trillion. But they're saying 228. So maybe they're trying to calculate their portion of the pie. Regardless, we know that the tokenized real estate market is in the hundreds, multiple hundreds of trillions. Now, history and launch. RealFi has been building momentum through phased developments and announcements, primarily shared via its official X account. Phase 1 of its roadmap, which included architectural development, smart contract framework design, and institutional alignment for onboarding physical real estate assets, was completed earlier in 2025. The retail platform officially launched on August 3rd, 2025, unlocking access to an estimated 196 trillion in private real estate for individual users to tokenize and trade assets. This launch saw over 2,900 users on board shortly after release. As of the current date, August 18th, 2025, RealFi is set to launch its institutional real estate solution today at 11:59 p.m., which is claimed to unlock 228 trillion in institutional real estate for tokenization on XRPL via the XRP Ledger Asset Program. This follows a series of countdown announcements hyping the integration of trillions in real estate value onto the blockchain. This project has been promoted as a transformative step with claims of bridging the global real estate market to XRPL, though these have drawn scrutiny. So we'll get to the controversies and criticism in just a second. So platform and how it works. RealFi's platform operates on the XRP ledger, providing a unified system for real estate tokenization and payments. Users can access the platform through websites like payrealfi.com, focused on payments and tokenization, and therealchain.com, a dashboard for listings, token creation, and asset management. Key steps in operation. I'm gonna skip some of this stuff. I don't want to read all of it. I want to get to some of the most important things. Let's look at the tokenomics. This token is only has a supply of 1 billion tokens, and the current cost right now is about 4 cents, 4.5 cents USD. You have to, 1 billion tokens, 4 cents. Market cap is currently 22 million. So you have to buy XRP to get the real token if that's what you want to do. Now, I want to get into this next part because it's about their team and their partnerships, which has drawn some scrutiny and drawn some ideas from some users on X that this could be a scam. So team and partnerships. No specific team members, names, or backgrounds are publicly detailed across sources. The project is represented by its official X account, which has over 15,000 followers and handles announcements. Partnerships are implied through logos on the website, but no names or details are provided. RealFi claims ongoing discussions with major financial institutions, property firms, and DeFi platforms to promote Real and the XRP adoption. So let's look at their roadmap and future plans. While a detailed roadmap isn't explicitly outlined, key milestones include Phase 1 completion, which was early of this year, 2025, core development and institutional prep. Then retail launch on August 3rd of this year, focused on private real estate tokenization. That was that 198 trillion. Now we have institutional launch, which is today, August 18th at 11:59 p.m., enabling larger organizations to issue tokens and onboard institutional assets. Future emphasis is on expanding global adoption, which claims of integrating the full 650 trillion market. So right now, they're saying they're anticipating this institutional launch to bring 228 trillion. The retail launch brought 198 trillion, and then the global adoption is going to bring that 650 trillion. Okay, so let's get to the controversies and the warnings of others on X who don't think this project is going to do well. RealFi has faced criticism within the XRP community for potential red flags. An anonymous X user, Mr. Man, warned of unverified claims, lack of confirmation from Ripple Labs, and absence of proof like stress testing or partnerships. Panos Mekris, co-founder of Anodos Finance, labeled it a likely scam due to anonymous team, unverifiable pre-sales, and misuse of terms like built on XRPL without Ripple backing. Concerns include no named team, audit reports, or regulatory compliance details for tokenizing assets, which requires legal frameworks for ownership and custody. All Ripple-related claims stem solely from RealFi's marketing with no third-party validation from Ripple's official channel. So that's what people are saying. Okay, that's what people are saying. Now, when you read that at face value, that may scare a lot of people away. But when I go into this, I'm going to give you my take, and I'm going to also continue to read some things that I continue to search on Grok. All right, so we know what people said. Now, let's back up a little bit. The first thing Mr. Man said, warned of unverified claims, lack of confirmation from Ripple Labs, and absence of proof, stress testing, and partnerships. Okay, so he wants to see partnerships, and they're anonymous. That's not a big deal in DeFi technology. A lot of companies, especially in a land where regulatory certainty is not there yet, a lot of companies are going to want to be anonymous. It's no problem with being anonymous. No one knows who made Bitcoin, yet it's a part of the reserve, a lot of treasury reserves, right? All right, so here's the kicker now, because the part about Ripple was interesting, right? But I further did some digging. They're claiming, Ripple's not backing them. Ripple doesn't have no partnership with them, yet they claim to be building on the XRP, built on the XRP ledger. Well, my first initial thought was, do these people not understand that XRP ledger is a decentralized open source technology? There are going to be plenty of companies that are going to come along and do good things with technology on the XRP ledger and may not necessarily have any type of connection with Ripple. So people just kind of see Ripple as the standard, and they think that if you're doing something on the XRP ledger and you're not connected with Ripple, then you're not legitimate. That's not the case. However, this is the real kicker. I asked Grok this question. I said, did RealFi make statements on X about partnering with Ripple? Because if they made statements about partnering with Ripple and they're not partnered with Ripple, well, then that would be a problem, right? But even then, even if they made statements and Ripple did not confirm, that still doesn't mean they're lying. But however, if Ripple denied it, then that would be a big problem, right? But as it turns out, the question is, did RealFi make statements on X about partnering with Ripple? The answer is no. No, RealFi did not make any statements on X about partnering with Ripple. Their official account at RealFi team has posted extensively about building on the XRP ledger and integrating real estate tokenization with it. But there are no mentions of Ripple, the company, or any form of partnership in their content. So you see, you can't just listen to what people say. Why are they getting, it's not a red flag that there's nothing on Ripple's website about RealFi. You know why? Because they don't have a partnership with RealFi. And RealFi did not claim to have a partnership with Ripple. You don't have to be partnered with Ripple to use the XRP ledger. There are going to be, see, we're so early in this space, people. We're so early, man. 10 years from now, you're going to see so many reputable companies that are going to be associated with the XRP ledger other than just Ripple. So I continued, and I quoted a segment from Grok where Panos said that it's likely a scam due to anonymous team, unverifiable pre-sales, and misuse of terms like built on XRPL without Ripple backing. And then further, where they said all Ripple-related claims stem solely from ReFi's marketing, which was not true. That's what people said about them, right? But that is not the truth. But no third-party validation from Ripple's official channels. Okay, so I typed into Grok, if RealFi never claimed to be associated with Ripple, then it is not a negative that Ripple has not mentioned them. Ripple does not control the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger is open source, decentralized technology that anyone can use without Ripple's permission. And then Grok said, you're correct in pointing out that the XRP ledger is an open source, decentralized blockchain technology. It was created, developed by Ripple Labs, but it operates independently with no central control or requirement for permission from Ripple to build or deploy applications on it. Anyone can utilize XRPL for tokenization or other purposes without needing endorsement, backing, or association from Ripple. Regarding RealFi specifically, based on a thorough review of their official X posts, websites, and related public materials, RealFi has not made any claims of partnership, collaboration, endorsement, or direct association with Ripple. Their messaging consistently emphasizes building on the XRP ledger itself for features like fast settlements, low fees, and its DEX, but stops short of implying any Ripple involvement beyond the ledger's open source nature. The criticisms from figures like Panos appear to stem from a broader skepticism in the XRP community about projects that leverage XRPL's branding without verifiable ties to established players like Ripple. However, since RealFi hasn't asserted such ties, the absence of Ripple's validation isn't inherently a red flag on that front. Other concerns, such as the anonymous team and lack of audits compliance details, remain points of caution for potential users or investors, as tokenizing real estate does require robust legal and regulatory frameworks to ensure asset custody and ownership validity. In summary, your assessment aligns with the facts. No claimed association means no discrepancy in Ripple's silence. This highlights the decentralized ethos of XRPL, where innovation can occur permissionlessly, though it also underscores the importance of due diligence in evaluating project legitimacy. All right, so on that front, I feel it's safe to say there is no concern because there is no Ripple backing of RealFi. Now, let's move on to other concerns. I quoted Grok's another segment from Grok that dealt with other concerns. Other concerns such as the anonymous team and lack of audits, compliance details remain points of caution for potential users or investors, as tokenizing real estate does require robust legal and regulatory frameworks to ensure asset custody and ownership validity. So, my statement was, these regulatory frameworks are still in the process of being written. It's early in the digital asset space. Once the laws are written, companies will know how to comply. So here's Grok's response. You're absolutely right that the digital asset space, particularly tokenized real estate, is still in its early stages, with regulatory frameworks actively evolving worldwide. The nascent phase means many jurisdictions are refining rules to balance innovation, investor protection, and anti-money laundering measures, often in response to rapid technological advancements. Once more comprehensive laws are finalized, compliance pathways will indeed become clearer for companies. However, it's worth noting that while regulations are being written or updated, foundational frameworks already exist in key regions, requiring projects to adhere to them proactively, such as through securities registrations, KYC, AML protocols, and audits to mitigate risk like fraud or invalid ownership claims. Okay, so that sounds about right. There are current laws that are already in place that anybody involved in this space should already be adhering to. So I said very specifically, has RealFi failed to meet any existing regulatory requirements for tokenizing real estate in the UK? Because that's where they're based out of, the UK. And those are the laws they would have to follow. And the answer is no. There is no public evidence or records indicating that RealFi has failed to meet existing regulatory requirements for tokenizing real estate in the UK as of August 18, 2025. Key findings. FCA registration status. RealFi is not listed in the Financial Conduct Authority's Crypto Asset Firms Register or the broader Financial Services Register. In the UK, firms involved in tokenized assets that qualify as securities, example, if tokens represent ownership rights or economic interest in real estate, must typically be authorized by the FCA under the Financial Services and Markets Act 2000 or relevant regulations like the money laundering regulation. However, the absence of registration does not automatically constitute a failure or violation. It could mean their activities are structured to fall under exemptions, or that they are operating in a way that hasn't yet required full authorization. RealFi's recent launch may also mean any required applications are still in progress. FCA warnings or actions. RealFi does not appear on the FCA's warning list for unauthorized firms or scams. There are no reported fines, enforcement actions, or public statements from the FCA regarding non-compliance by RealFi. No mentions of issues with anti-money laundering, counter-terrorist financing protocols, KYC requirements, or securities classifications, which are critical for tokenizing real estate. So finally, community and public sentiment. There is significant skepticism with multiple users labeling RealFi a scam due to factors like an anonymous team, lack of detailed white paper, no roadmap transparency, and unverified claims about unlocking trillions in real estate. However, these are informal opinions and not tied to any confirmed regulatory breaches. No posts reference specific FCA investigations, violations, or compliance failures. Criticisms focus on perceived red flags rather than legal non-compliance. So I think that is very, very important to understand. Now, does that mean you should buy it? No. But it's not a scam, all right? It's not a scam. But just because you invest in a crypto that's not a scam doesn't guarantee you're gonna make money, right? So what do I think? Do I think that RealFi is gonna be a successful token? I don't know. I really don't. I do not know. However, I think it's worth throwing $20 on it. I mean, I do. These are my thoughts, people. We're so early in this space. In the UK, there are only two other major players in the tokenizing asset when it comes to real estate. That's Archax, and there's this company called Control Alt. Other than that, that's it. So there's a lot of room for more companies to come onto this space and tokenize assets on the XRP ledger. This is describing what I always knew was going to come to the XRP ledger. And so I'm willing to bet on them. Yeah. Am I going to throw my XRP money on it? No. Right? But yeah, I think it's worth putting, $20, $40 on it. The coin is only 4 cents right now. So, hey, do I expect anything to happen tonight at midnight? I'm not going to say I do either, but I can't say it's not impossible, because if enough investors are thinking something's going to happen at midnight, then it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If they all jump in, right? But I wouldn't expect anything at midnight tonight. However, I would expect, as this asset class continues to grow, I'm willing to bet that this coin does get some of that market share. And if they get a little bit of the market share, I'm pretty sure the coin's going to be highly more valuable than 4 cents, right? How much valuable than 4 cents? I'm not willing to say in this video. I'm really not. I do not know, because I really don't know. But like I said, I think it's worth the gamble. So I think I may put like $20 on it. I don't know, something small, and we'll just see what happens. I'm totally aware that I could put my $20 in this and I can lose my $20. I'm totally aware with that, and I'm fine with that. That's okay for me. I'm only putting money in this that I can totally afford to lose, all right? So whatever you decide to do is what you decided to do. If the real token doesn't do well, don't come back to my post calling me a scammer, because the real token didn't do what because you lost money in the real token. Oh my God, I may lose money in this, people. I may, okay? But I may not. So you do your own research and invest the money that you can afford to lose, and you can't go wrong when it comes to, especially long-term holding plays. All right, so that's what I wanted to get out. Hopefully this information was very valuable to you, And so make your decision, guys. We'll see what happens with the token. But regardless, we know what's coming to the XRP ledger. This is just one of many. So many companies are going to utilize the XRP ledger for all types of things. And it's great to know that we made it in at such a great bargain. All right, my good people, if you haven't seen a Cryptex meeting and you need to get the information, you know where to go. Go to the description of the video. You need to find out how you can maximize your wealth building strategy with smart contracts that pay you out a wonderful sum of money in 2 years, in 3 years, in 5 years, and in 7 years. There is no greater excitement that I have other than my long-term holding position in XRP than having something that has a date associated with it. I like that. I like knowing in 2 years I'm going to have a nice sum of money because I bought X amount of contracts that only cost $100 a piece. So you need to find out about this information. Don't assume it's not legitimate. Don't assume it's a scam. Listen to the people who are involved and get the information, then decide if it's a scam. All right. But there are wonderful, wonderful opportunities that are out there and that are still coming in this wonderful land of DeFi technology. We are able to this world is able to do things with money that we have not been able to do before. And these smart contracts are paying out, people. So you need to come understand what this is about. This is your boy Cornelius Jones. Head to the description, get your video, get your information. I will see you guys on the next video. You all have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next one.